Welcome to this session of important interview questions. And today we are going to discuss that why is EC2 Hibernate important in AWS? Now, first of all, let us understand the concept of EC2 Hibernate. What is this EC2 Hibernate? So basically what happens is that when you are running an EC2 instance, your EC2 instance consists of a virtual CPU, right? And a RAM, that is random access memory, and a root volume. So for instance, in such a case, when your EC2 instance, let us say your EC2 instance gets shut down accidentally or gets stopped, right? Gets stopped or terminated. Moreover, stopped, then it is a possibility that all of your data which is present in the RAM or whatever application which was running in the RAM will be stopped as well. Right? So suppose there was a very big application which was running in the RAM and suddenly your instance, EC2 instance gets stopped. Then what will happen is that when you restart your instance, right? When you restart your instance or when you start your instance again, then the whole application needs to be started again. The whole OS needs to be started again. The whole operating system needs to be started again. Now, in order to, get yourself, in order to be able to shorten this time, what we will do, or in order to be able to shorten this time, what we will do is we will utilize a facility called as EC2 Hibernate. So instead of stopping the instance for a general purpose, right, what we will be doing is we will be hibernating the instance. In which case, what happens is that all your data, or suppose if any application is running in RAM, a big application is running in RAM, right? A very big application is running in RAM. This all data, this all running application goes into the root volume. This all running application goes into the root volume, right? This is known as the state transfer. So this particular application when transferred to root volume is known as state transfer. That means the whole application which was running, every bit of RAM goes into the root volume. So that when the EC2 instance restarts back or starts from the hibernation state, then what happens is all the application or whatever data which was transferred from a random access memory to root volume goes back into the RAM as it is, and your application begins from where it stopped or from where it hibernated. Also, you need to understand that your OS never stops running. It is always started. It is always up and running when you hibernate your instance. So it saves a lot of time if you are having a very big application running. So you don't need to restart that application. Sometimes restarting the application may require some configuration to be set up. So you don't need that. Instead, you can use the EC2 Hibernate. So in-memory RAM, state is preserved, as we have understood earlier. Fast instance boot, because OS is not stopped. It is always up and running. And it comes in very handy when you are running long processes. You are saving the RAM state. And one major concern over here is that your EBS volume must be encrypted. Right? So your EBS volume must be encrypted. So we need to understand this, that your EBS volume must be encrypted. So whenever you are hibernating or whenever you are selecting the hibernating instance under the advanced settings, so this setting comes under the advanced settings. So whenever you are choosing the hibernation, setting, you need to make sure that your EBS volume is encrypted. So this is why EC2 Hibernate comes in very handy and it becomes very important in AWS. Why Lambda over EC2? Why Lambda service over EC2? So Lambda service is one of the most popular services and constitutes towards serverless paradigm. Serverless paradigm means that you don't need to manage servers. The servers will be managed by the AWS, right? So AWS will be responsible to manage the servers. You don't have to do any bit regarding the server. That is why Lambda over EC2. So let us understand with the concept, with the notes. So in EC2, what happens is that EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, and these are basically virtual servers in the cloud. So what is going on here is that these are these are virtual servers in the cloud. These are limited by random access memory and CPU. So you have to have random access memory, you have to have CPU, right? And you will be um, basically needing this RAM and CPU, and you have to uh, do the vertical scaling on your behalf as well. So you will intervene every time you need extra RAM or extra CPU. Every time your traffic increases, you need extra RAM and extra CPU. And for vertical scaling, it is the responsibility of the user who will be doing the vertical scale, right? So that is the problem here. This is one problem. Another problem is that it is continuously running. So that means you are billed by hour. For each hour that is running, you are billed by it. Whether your traffic is coming on your particular application or not, it doesn't matter, right? You are continuously billed by hour. And if you want to scale it, you have to scale it with the information intervention. Manual information intervention is required in order to scale the servers, right? So in order to replace this, you have something called as AWS Lambda. Now, Lambda is something which you must be interested in, because Lambda doesn't, um, you know, um, continuously runs, for number one, right? You are not managing any servers, right? You are just writing function. That is why it constitutes towards a new paradigm, that is function as a service. Function as a service. So virtual functions, that is no servers, limited by time short executions. A maximum Lambda function runs is about 15 minutes. And 15 minutes is a lot of time in order to execute a very big amount of code. Also, it runs on demand. That is, whenever whenever a user is going on to a website, then only it is running. So it is not running unnecessarily. It is not running unnecessarily. Also, scaling is automated. So you don't have to worry about the intervention. You don't have to intervene. You don't have to worry about anything. That is, scaling is automated, right? So let us understand with a very beautiful, um, you know, illustration, which is given by the AWS. Like in here, discover. Oops. So if I type in run, next Lambda respond to event. So you can see a very beautiful illustration given by the AWS. So if I click on this mobile phone, you can see that the number of functions are increasing in the background. You can see it over here. You can see these number of functions are increasing. You can see data coming from streaming analysis. Functions are increasing. You can see that if an S3 bucket, so this particular number of functions are increasing, right? So you can see that it depends on the traffic. If the traffic is increasing, it will increase the functions, the servers in the background. Else you don't need to worry about it. Else you don't need to worry, right? So also you can you can see the invocations according to the AWS costing. You will bear very much less cost. So around first million requests are it is free of cost, and after that the costing will be as low as $0.01 US dollars, or 1 cent, 0.1 cent per request, per next 10 million. Sorry. So you can see that around 3 million requests, and you will be only costing 48 cents, something like that. So that is why Lambda is preferred over EC2 and it constitutes towards new path. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Switch from non-IT to IT today. Explore www.thinkcloudly.com.